Hi everyone, my name is Tamit Saleh and welcome to this week's episode of Tennis Tuesday. If you haven't already, then please do subscribe as I do release weekly tennis videos. If you want to check out my last week video, which actually popped off really, it was about will Rafa Nadal break Roger Federer's Grand Slam record? As you know, Rafa's on 19 now, Roger's on 20, it's all spicing up a lot. So yeah, if you want to check out that video, I'll be putting a link up here somewhere and also in the description below. This week, I want to talk about the ATP Cup. It's a new tournament coming from 2020, starting in January. We've just had the draw for the group stage announced yesterday, so I thought it'd be a fitting time to talk about the ATP Cup, what exactly it is, the teams taking place, etc. And I'll end it by giving a bit of tennis news and also looking at the Laver Cup, which is later on this week. After the thrilling climax to the US Open final, tennis has been a little calmer this week, but there's still plenty to talk about, so without further ado, let's roll the intro.
Here he is again. That's astonishing.
So, the draw for the inaugural ATP Cup competition took place yesterday. It is a brand new tournament beginning in 2020, and I thought this was a fitting time to tell you guys what exactly the ATP Cup is, who's playing in it, what it's all about, and yeah, what exactly is up for grabs in this new tournament. Novak Djokovic, Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, the big three are all committed to playing this tournament. As you know, at the beginning of every year, in the end of January, the Australian Open Grand Slam takes place. And before that, in the lead up, you have tournaments such as the Hopman Cup, which is used by players to sort of fine-tune their tennis after the winter break. The Hopman Cup has now been abolished after 31 years. I am a little sad to see the Hopman Cup go, as it was a fun tournament. You know, you got to see some incredible matchups. I feel last year we had a great match between USA and Switzerland, which of course involved having Roger Federer and Serena Williams on the same court at the same time. It's a bit of a fun tournament, and of course you're representing your country. With the ATP Cup, the whole representing your country remains. It is a national competition, but there's also ATP ranking points up for grabs, so players will probably put a bit more effort into it. I believe if an undefeated winner wins the ATP Cup, they get up to 750 ranking points. That is an incredible amount for a new competition and a country-based competition as well. The 750 ranking points up for grabs means it is slightly less than what's available in the Masters 1000 tournaments, but it is more than the ATP 500s or the usual warm-up tournaments that takes place before the Australian Open. It is a 24-nation competition with entry being decided by the country's number one ranked player. So for instance, of course, number one player in the world, Novak Djokovic, means Serbia will take part in it. Number two player, Rafael Nadal, made sure Spain will take part. Number three, Roger Federer, Switzerland, you get the point. So the top 18 nations are dictated by that. Then there's a qualifying stage as well for the other nations. And finally, because Australia did not have a player in the top 18 of the world, they get an automatic wildcard qualification as they are the host nation, which means 19 nations have already qualified with 5 still up for grab. The ATP Cup is a $21 million tournament, meaning it is the richest tennis tournament in the calendar year outside of the Grand Slams. It will be played within 10 days between January the 3rd and January the 12th in 3 cities in Australia: Brisbane, Perth and Sydney. The 24 nations have been split into 6 groups of 4, so each nation will have to play the other 3 nations in their group. And how it works is each team must have a minimum of 3 players and a maximum of 5. There will be 2 singles matches followed by a doubles. So if you win 2 of the 3, then obviously your country wins. The singles matches will take place, so it'll begin with the number 2 player of each country facing the other number 2 player, followed by the 2 number 1s playing, and then the doubles. If one country has won both the singles, meaning they've won the tie, the doubles will still take place. For me, I feel like this is a bit of a bad move. I just don't see the point. Like, you know, if the tie is decided, why should the doubles take place? I feel like it will lack the crowd involvement, maybe the effort of some of the players, and I feel like it'll just be a waste of time. But yep, that's what they've agreed. The doubles will take place regardless. The winning nations of each of the 6 groups will qualify to the knockout rounds, as well as 2 of the best runners-up, meaning 8 teams qualify for the knockout round. Then of course you have the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, and then the final. That is the concept of how the ATP Cup will take place. I want you to tell me if you feel like it's a waste of time or if you like it. Personally, I always enjoy watching different formats of tennis. Like, it's a very individual sport, tennis. And when you have these, sort of like a club competitions or nation competitions, like we do with the Davis Cup, in the Laver Cup coming up, it's a Team Europe versus Team World. It's nice to see different players interacting. I feel like there's a lot less pressure on them as well. You see some great moments. So I'm looking forward to the ATP Cup. I'll just quickly tell you guys how the groups have been dealt. And for me, the favorite teams to win the inaugural ATP Cup. So we have Group A, we have Serbia, France, South Africa. Group F, how they've done it is Group A and F will play in Brisbane, B and D will play in Perth, and C and E will play in Sydney. In Group F, we have Germany, Greece, Canada, and Australia. In Group B, we have Spain, Japan, Georgia. Group D, Russia, Italy, USA. Group C, Switzerland, Belgium, Great Britain. And in Group E, we have Austria, Croatia, and Argentina. Now, Group F is the only group with all 4 teams decided. The others will have, obviously, a 4th nation join. That will be announced in November. Just looking at some of these group stages, we'll have some great ties, I'm sure. Living in London myself, I'm looking forward to Group C a lot. We've got Andy Murray against Roger Federer as the opener of that group, so it'll be good to see how Andy's progressing, especially into the new year. So Great Britain, Switzerland, really good. Group D, we have Russia, USA, always treating up a good match. We'll have Medvedev in that match, I'm sure. Australia, of course, will be represented by Nick Kyrgios and Alex de Minaur. So, home nation, it'll be great. They've got some good players, like for instance Greece, Tsitsipas, Germany's Zverev, Canada, Felix Auger-Aliassime. So a lot of quality in each of these groups. I'm going to quickly tell you some of the teams. So I'll start with the big 3. Serbia, the partner for Novak Djokovic will be Dusan Lajovic. Spain, Rafa Nadal will have Roberto Bautista Agut as his partner. Great partnership, that one. Switzerland, Federer and his teammate will be Laaksonen. Now, I don't know why Stan Wawrinka isn't playing or if he can, join in later on. But yeah, for now, that's the Swiss team. Some of the other teams I feel that are really strong and ones to watch, especially for me, Russia. We've got Medvedev and Kachanov, both top 10 players. They make a pretty solid team there. Japan, we've got Nishikori and Nishioka. Nishioka has been performing really well lately. Italy, you've got Fonini and Berrettini. Great Britain, of course, Andy Murray and Kyle Edmund. And Australia's got a pretty good team as well, Kyrgios and Alex de Minaur. I feel like in team competitions, Nick Kyrgios seems to put more energy or he's focused more than his own individual performances. I've seen in the Laver Cup, every year he's played in it, he seemed very up for it and very focused. So, I'm actually looking forward to seeing how all of this works. With the 750 ranking points up for grabs as well, it'll be an incentive for, the big 3 to really, not use this as an exhibition match, for instance. 750 points could be the difference between Novak Djokovic and Rafa Nadal being number 1 going into the Australian Open, for instance. That is pretty much everything you need to know about the ATP Cup right now. Looking quickly at the Laver Cup. Now, this is a tournament that sort of splits fans. Is it worth it? Is it just an exhibition? Is it Roger Federer's retirement plan? It takes place on Friday. I'll be releasing a video looking at the Laver Cup, so I won't talk about it too much in this video. And finally, just a quick update in terms of the tennis world. Not so much happening right now, of course, but a lot of rumors, a lot of you guys in the comment section I've seen are rumoring about Novak Djokovic and his injury, that he needs to have surgery and he won't play for the rest of the season. That, for me, I've not heard anything coming straight from Novak Djokovic, any of his social medias. It does seem like he's planning to play the Asian swing, so I don't think it is as important or as serious as some people are making out. Likewise, from the Federer camp, not really heard anything. A bit of a surprise for me is that Medvedev is back to action so soon after the long summer he's had. So I hope he does not injure himself and make it worse than it is. But I believe he had some commitments in Russia to play tournaments, so fair play to him for playing. And that is all really in terms of the tennis news and updates. The main topic of this video was the ATP Cup. What is it? Please do let me know if you're going to be watching it, if you think it's a great idea or it's just simply a glorified exhibition. Do the ranking points, will they make a difference? Will the top players take it seriously? Yeah, like always, leave a comment. I love hearing what you guys have to say, and I try to respond to most, if not all, of your comments. And as always, if you've enjoyed this video, please do leave a thumbs up and subscribe for future content. Thank you very much.